Hello and welcome to this episode of RPGGamer Top 5s, and this time we're going to do the top 5 RPGs available on Steam. Steam is the biggest video game digital distribution service platform, was developed by the Valve Corporation and launched in 2003. The range of games, old and new, available on the platform is quite staggering. The Steam sales are especially worthy of mentioning, as they are a perfect way to pick up older games at extremely discounted prices. And I have picked up games I normally wouldn't have considered paying full price for, at just a few pounds, and had hours and hours of great gaming. Once again, we've gone to an online poll for results, which has surprised us with some choices which we would have never considered. And with that, let's go on with the countdown. And at number 5, Dragon's Dogma by Capcom in 2012, with 23 votes. A surprise appearance on the list, but one I've heard good things about. Dragon's Dogma is the only game on our list which is a standalone entry and doesn't have its position boosted by other games in the same series. However, it appears in the top 5 only because other games were eliminated, as they were parts of series already included on the list. Dragon's Dogma is an action role-playing hack-and-slash video game developed and published by Capcom for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox in 2012. An enhanced version, subtitled Dark Arisen, was released for the game's original consoles in 2013, and later ported to Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in 2017, and more recently the Nintendo Switch in 2019. Set in the high fantasy world of Gransys, the player takes on the role of a human protagonist, dubbed the Arisen, on a quest to defeat the dragon Grigori, a being said to herald the world's end, while uncovering a deeper conspiracy along the way. The gameplay focuses on the Arisen, exploring Gransys, completing quests and fighting monsters in real-time combat. The protagonist is accompanied by pawns, characters who provide combat support and advice. The player has one customized pawn and 2 additional pawns, either preset within the game or other customized pawns shared by other players through an online lobby. Both standard combat and boss battles involve grappling with or climbing on enemies. And at number 4, Divinity Original Sin 2 by Larian Studios in 2018, with 102 votes. The latest part in the Divinity series of games, a series I've dipped my toe into and loved. Divinity Original Sin also received a lot of votes, but the other games in the series were far down the list with single votes for those. Divinity Original Sin 2 is a role-playing video game developed and published by Larian Studios, and is the sequel to 2014's Divinity Original Sin. It was released for Microsoft Windows in September 2017, and for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in August 2018, and for Mac OS and Nintendo Switch in 2019. The game received universal acclaim, with many critics praising its complexity and interactivity, considering it to be one of the best role-playing games of all time. It was also a commercial success, selling over 1 million copies in 2 months. As with Divinity Original Sin, players can play fully solo with only one character in their party, or with up to 3 others. The game is described as being set in a huge open world with hours of hidden content. Several pre-made characters with backstories are available to the player. Players are also able to create a custom character and choose their stats, race, gender and origin story at the start of the game. Unlike the original, players are also given the possibility to create an undead character of one of the available races. And at number 3, Fallout New Vegas by Bethesda Softworks in 2010, with 134 votes. Only a few votes ahead of Fallout 4, and with my personal favourite in the series, Fallout 3, getting very few votes indeed. Fallout New Vegas is a post-apocalyptic action role-playing video game. It is a spin-off of the Fallout series and was developed by Obsidian Entertainment and published by Bethesda Softworks. It was announced in April 2009 and released for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 on October 19, 2010. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic open-world environment that encompasses a region consisting of parts of Nevada, California and Arizona. Players take control of a character known as the Courier. While transporting a package across the Mojave Desert to the city of New Vegas, the Courier is ambushed, robbed of the package, shot in the head and left for dead. After surviving, the Courier begins a journey to find their would-be killer and recover the package, making friends and enemies among various factions, and ultimately becomes caught up in a conflict that determines who will control New Vegas and the Mojave Wasteland. Now, I admit, New Vegas is my least favourite of the Fallout games. It was a buggy mess when it was released, and I have terrible memories of characters in the game disappearing, leaving quests uncompletable, and actually falling through the surface of the earth into a void underneath. Playing it now is a far better experience, with patches and updates available, and it's a good game. But, let's be honest, it being my least favourite of the Fallout games is like it being my least favourite chocolate bar. It's still great. But personally I find it too linear in comparison to the other games, which provide an amazing open world experience in the post-apocalyptic wasteland. And at number 2, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim by Bethesda Softworks in 2011, with 158 votes. Skyrim's the 5th main instalment in the Elder Scrolls series, following The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, which came quite far down our list. But Elder Scrolls III Morrowind only was denied a place in our top 5 because of Skyrim's presence, and our rule that only one game in a series can appear on each list. Skyrim was released worldwide for Microsoft Windows, the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 on November 11, 2011. The game's main story revolves around the player character's quest to defeat Alduin, the World Eater, a dragon who is prophesied to destroy the world. The game is set 200 years after the events of Oblivion, and takes place in Skyrim, the northernmost province of Tamriel. Over the course of the game, the player completes quests and develops the character by improving skills. The game continues the open world tradition of its predecessors by allowing the player to travel anywhere in the game world at any time, and to ignore or postpone the main storyline indefinitely. Skyrim is a massive game, with so many side quests and places to explore, it's no wonder the game has seen multiple releases with updates and improvements. But I have to admit it's not a favourite of mine, as apparently I played it wrong, ending up wandering into one of the DLC contents by accident. My character ended up with the most powerful sword in the game in my first few levels, which allowed me to kill dragons, trolls and other challenging opponents in just a few hits, making the game overly simple and easily completed. This experience has soured me of the game, but even I can't deny how universally loved Skyrim is, and the amazing experience it provides, which makes me somewhat surprised that it never hit the top spot in our list. And at number 1, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt by CD Projekt in 2015, with 169 votes. A total surprise to me, as I'd played the first game in the series, and although it was an amazing role-playing experience, it also seemed to include the most puerile childish side to it as well, where you slept with various women in the game to obtain collectible cards with nude pictures of the ladies. You've got to catch them all. But the series has grown into an awesome collection of games, with a spin-off television series soon to appear on our screens. The Witcher 3 was always the clear winner of our poll, with the earlier games garnering very few votes between them. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is based on the Witcher series of fantasy novels by, and I apologise for my pronunciation, Andrzej Sapkowski, and it's played in an open world with a third-person perspective. Players control the protagonist, Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter known as a Witcher, who is looking for his missing adopted daughter on the run from the Wild Hunt, an otherworldly force determined to capture and use her powers. Players battle the game's many dangers with weapons and magic, interact with non-player characters, and complete main story and side quests to acquire experience points and gold, which are used to increase Geralt's abilities and purchase equipment. Its central story has several endings, determined by the player's choices at certain points in the game. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt was released for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in May 2015, with a Microsoft Switch version slated for release this month, October 2019. The game received a critical acclaim, with praise for its gameplay, narrative, world design, combat and visuals, although it received minor criticism due to technical issues. It received numerous Game of the Year awards, and has been cited as one of the greatest video games of all time. It was also a commercial success, shipping over 20 million copies by June 2019. And it has 2 expansions, Heart of Stone and Blood and Wine, which were also released to critical acclaim. Well, that's it for our top 5 RPGs available on Steam, so what did you think? Did you expect Skyrim to win, as we had? Do you have any of these games and love them? Or do you have any suggestions on games you think definitely should have appeared and that we should play? Well, let us know your thoughts in the comments below by getting in touch through email or the website. So, as always, many thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like what we're doing, but most of all, you look after yourselves. And we'll catch you later. Bye!